Shaq used to be one of the most hated players in the league? Let's take a look. Today on Triple Elimination, we're looking at moments that will make you hate NBA legends. First up at number 4, LeBron James. Yes, LeBron James is on this list, and his hate stock was one of the smartest to invest in almost about 10 years ago when he was an arrogant player. James was one of the most heavily hyped NBA players in NBA history, and as a high schooler, he was such a good player that he led his team to 3 consecutive championships. That situation got him the attention of lottery teams in the process, as professional teams were purposely tanking games to earn a chance at drafting the 18-year-old phenom. Well, the Cleveland Cavaliers won the first pick and wisely took James, who would go on to win Rookie of the Year honors, and after that 2 years later, they would make their first postseason since 1998. LeBron would continue to lead the team deep into the playoffs that was capped off by their first NBA Finals appearance in 2007, where they were sadly swept by the San Antonio Spurs. It was then that the Cavs management realized that James really needed a good team, so they did everything they could to surround James with the talent by bringing in swingman Mo Williams, Antoine Jamison, and an aging Shaquille O'Neal over the next 2 years. Due to these changes, the Cavaliers won about 60 games for those seasons, but were shockingly ousted in the Eastern Conference Finals and semifinals respectively. But LeBron didn't take the situation too kindly, and going into the 2010 offseason, he became a free agent. The Cleveland Cavalier fans had nothing but faithfulness and love for James, who then responded by running off to Miami on a national stage on an hour-long decision special that was appropriately named The Decision. Cavs fans responded by burning his jersey and destroying any memorabilia that they could get their hands on. We're really just getting started now. James had shown arrogance on and off the court by showing off in blowouts, being caught out by Chicago Bulls center Joakim Noah for dancing on the bench during a win, and calling himself the King James. I mean, I can respect James for his talent, but calling yourself a king while owning a total of 0 championships at that time was actually raging some fire against him. Now keep in mind, I was referring to the early LeBron that actually brought out hate against himself. Or you could say the dark age of LeBron. But hey, he can totally call himself the king now, considering how amazing of a player he now is. At number 3, Ron Artest. Ron Artest, although he was retired, we have seen his hate stock drop since cooling down with the Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Lakers. It's still tough for anyone to try and not remember the infamous Mouse at the Palace that was originally caused by Ron Artest. But Ron has had a tough upbringing in Queensbridge, New York, that included witnessing the murder of a player on a basketball court graphically when an opposing player broke the leg off a table and proceeded to stab Lloyd Newton in the back. Oof, that must have been harsh. Is that possibly an explanation for what ensued on November 19th, 2004? Possibly, but still no excuses for doing what he did against innocent Detroit Pistons fans. During the 2004 game, Ron had fouled Pistons center Ben Wallace hard on a shot, and the 6'11 giant responded by shoving Artest in the chest. The two were eventually separated as Wallace was calmed down, and Artest laid on the announcer's desk in an attempt to cool his emotions and allow that argument to run its course. That's all well and good, but it took a turn for the worse when a fan decided to throw a drink at the 6'7", 230-pound small forward, and Ron responded by running into the first 10 rows of the Palace at Auburn Hills and began to pummel the wrong fan. Piston fans attempted to break it up, but Artest was followed by his teammates who decided to join in on the brawl. 2 Detroit fans jumped on the court and were issued blows by Steven Jackson and Jermaine O'Neal before the team was eventually let off the court by a flurry of booze and overpriced stadium food and drinks. Ron received the longest suspension in NBA history at 73 games and the entire postseason. While Artest hasn't shown any signs of violence since then, his role in the fight sadly overshadows his other accomplishments as a lockdown defender and now NBA champion. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you do stuff like this, people are going to remember only the bad things. At number 2, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett has an ambition for winning and playing the game larger than nearly everybody else in the NBA. Back in 2007, after over a decade of hard work and disappointment with the Minnesota Timberwolves, he was traded to the Boston Celtics and won the much-eluded championship in his first year with the team. Since then, his health has deteriorated and he has been a shell of himself. The poor guy has gotten into drugs and it has a pretty bad impact on him. His legacy, however, is still something to remember, as he's basically the reincarnation of Shawn Kemp with a more consistent jump shot. Although there is still something that made us hate this NBA legend, Garnett's tenacity can sometimes get on the wrong end of fans and players alike. It's widely criticized that KG preys solely on smaller, whiter players, and he also puts this on full display when he got into a yelling match with the 6'3" Jose Calderon. During a game, Garnett and Calderon had been going at it in the third quarter, and it spilled over when Kevin played full court defense on Jose, who had to deal with Garnett clapping in his face the entire length of the court. Calderon, obviously being a man of the NBA, stood up to the much taller Garnett by issuing verbal jabs as well. Kevin's mouth had earned him a lot of hate from NBA players and fans from across the country, and slapping Tim Duncan in the back of the head while he wasn't looking is only the cherry on top. I mean, I feel sorry for him in a way, but the amount of disruption he caused during his time would still be there. At number 1, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq is an interesting case in this list because he could also be considered as one of the most beloved players in NBA history. Literally, everyone loves him. However, it's sad to say it, but there are many cases that cancel out his general kindness and could put him higher on this list if not for his brilliant social skills. Leaving the Orlando Magic in favor for the glitz and glamour of Los Angeles was the first straw, as O'Neal accepted a 7-year, $121 million contract and left the team that he built and had led to their first NBA Finals in franchise history. I mean, we all loved him at that position, and this decision was straight up bonkers. Although Shaq's time with the Lakers was nothing short of amazing, as he led the team to 3 NBA championships while winning 3 NBA Finals MVPs and a league MVP in the process. Then came the highly publicized feud between himself and the Lakers organization, but mostly Kobe Bryant, who was at the center of the controversy. Shaq had taken jabs at Kobe during their tenure together, calling him a selfish player before it spilled over into the 2004 offseason, and O'Neal was traded to the Miami Heat, much to his pleasure. Shaq can playfully poke fun at players, but he can also be downright mean at times, whether it's referring to Chris Bosh as the RuPaul of big men, or dissing former Heat teammates Chris Quinn and Ricky Davis by saying in an interview after being traded to the Phoenix Suns that, quote, "We have professionals who know what to do. No one is asking me to play with Chris Quinn or Ricky Davis. I'm actually on the team again." The RuPaul comment is somewhat hilarious, but Chris Quinn doesn't truly deserve that. And also, who can forget the infamous double MVP lie with Kobe Bryant? All in all, Shaq was a great player, and we all loved him, but you can also say he was socially dumb that kinda made us hate him sometimes in a manner. Well, that's it for today, guys. Let us know which moment made you hate an NBA player in the comments down below, and thank you so much for watching yet another video of Triple Domination, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye!